Hello everyone, I am Clonkera, and today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Yesterday, I got the Bank from Hell done, but it looks like, looking at it today, I've got a couple of little areas that I want to tweak on it. Hopefully they will end up just being tweaks, because I would like to be done with the Bank from Hell. But I just kind of felt like this highlight here needs to be a little bit straighter. Kind of curving a little bit strangely. So I just want to take like one more quick little look at it before I go back onto the other side. It's like it's really close, so I kind of hate to just leave that last little detail not quite right, especially considering how hard I've worked trying to get all that right. It has not been a cooperative little bit of hair at all. It has not wanted to work with me. So I'll poke at it for a little bit, see what happens. I think it's probably in a state of, it's fine. I'm just a perfectionist and I want to get it all looking very nice and very right. But honestly, the problem with it is pretty minor. So I don't mind just taking a quick look and making sure that everything's all good. But I'm going to try to avoid letting myself get too sucked into it. Let's see. This good? Just a little bit on the top, I think. Like right over here. And then hopefully with that that's good. Yeah. Yeah. Getting there. I think it's just getting a little bit compressed in a couple of spots. And I think once I release that compression, it'll be a lot better. Yeah, right here. Right there, the vertices just aren't in quite the correct vertical alignment. And I think that's what's throwing me off here. With any luck, that'll be all of it. And indeed, I think that's good. Alright. So I can come back over here. I was noticing some things weren't quite right around the eye and kind of her chin. So I wanted to take a moment to just stare very intently at that. Bring on the intense staring. So this way I can try to identify what the problem I'm seeing is. Let's take a look. Just wanted to take that slow there, so that this way I could get a good look at it and hopefully remove any assumptions that I might be having. Because I had some thoughts. I was taking a look at it before stream started, and I wanted to verify that they were correct again, since I got momentarily distracted by the other side. And bring that change all the way down. And this is definitely a part that I want to get right, because it's right next to her eyes here. And everything around her face is just, like, 10 times more important than everything else. The eyes especially. You do not want to skimp out on details around the eyes. Everyone's going to be looking there. So every little problem is just going to be that much more magnified. It's always worth to invest a little bit more time around focal points like the face. Make everything look that much more impressive and nice. Alright, I think I'm still seeing a little bit of gliding and compression around here, so let's space those vertices a little bit more. Let them have a little bit more personal space. Let's see what happens. I'm actually going to take a look at the mesh here. Something's not quite right, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay. So the mesh... The way the mesh is deforming suggests that maybe I actually do want these vertices a little bit more this way. A little bit more to the right. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, I kind of had trouble getting everything to line up with them a little bit more to the right. But I'll take a look. I'll give it a try, and I'll see what happens. Just see what happens. If it doesn't work out, I'll try something else. It's alright. It's all good. And I definitely do want to make sure I get this little area by her eyes right. That's the important thing here. Yeah, and I still feel like there's a little bit of shifting. Not that one. That one. A little bit of shifting going on over here. Let me slide these up a little bit. I do want to make sure that it doesn't look like the line art is like squirming around and all that stuff too. I just always like to be a little bit more particular in these areas. Just a little bit more particular. It's like I'm a perfectionist at the best of times, but when it comes to little areas like these, every little detail is just way too important to ignore. Okay, there we go. I think that's a bit better. Let's see, does it look like anything else is kind of compressing or squirming around in a bad way? It does kind of feel like the vertex that's controlling the top of this white area, you know, where it's the gradient, the top of the gradient. It should be a little bit lower. So yeah, I know I did a lot of on this one. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. But now that I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, there's just a couple things I want to tweak here and there. Just here and there. And hopefully that'll make things go well. Kind of felt like everything was sliding a little bit to the left there, so I'm trying to just very slightly, very, very slightly move the center vertices over to the right. Very, very gentle pushes. I don't want to do it too far. Right, I saw in the Discord this morning that there's going to be a new, smaller release of Inochi2D. I believe it was, released on Steam. Was it today or yesterday as well? So you can get it there. If you ever want to try doing some of this, try out doing some of this on your own. There's a fair amount of resources out there. Some people do have some ready-to-rig models available, and Of course, when it comes to cutting out art, the difference between Inochi2D and Live2D is very, very small. So most Live2D resources, like ready-to-rig models and that kind of thing, can also be applied to Inochi2D. If you don't want to deal with the big subscription fee on Live2D, but still kind of want to try out this kind of thing. And of course I have mine in the description, but I acknowledge that the art for this one is a little bit difficult to work with and maybe not so great as a beginner's first model. Lovely, lovely art, but very complicated. And a little bit on the difficult side to rig. That's why I keep getting very hung up on some of these small details and like the bangs and stuff. Because I'm just trying to get a lot of these small details and the shadows and the highlights and all that to line up better with the original. The simpler models or like chibi models, anything like that. I've seen in the showcase on the Discord that some people have even done kind of impressive things with doing some quick animations on ping tubers. Just letting them blink and bounce a bit. And that seems like a very effective way to learn too. Just doing something simple. This way you don't have to do what I did with this model and spend a week meshing out all the pieces. Or be very concerned with whether or not the gradient on the hair is in the right place and stuff like that. But still, the evaluation version of the software is going to be free forever, although I'm not sure if the evaluation is on Steam or not. I'm not sure. I don't really use Steam very much myself. I try to avoid DRM where I can, so... I haven't been a huge fan of Steam, if I'm being honest. But it is there, if you want to give it a try. I've also made a bit more progress in the Path to Nowhere event. Haven't quite finished it yet. I've reached the turning point though, and it does indeed seem like we're doing Dreamy Bubble again. It is a fun theme, so I'm not surprised that they keep doing it so much. I guess this one's a little bit different in that Dreamy Bubble was that even if you kind of hide yourself away in a dream world, that reality will continue with or without you. And all of that is... even if it feels good, it's not real. Whereas here is just, maybe I describe the theme as there are some things more important than fulfilling your own desires. At least that seems to be what they're going for so far. I was kind of curious on how they were going to handle LL as a character. And it doesn't seem like her character has a particular twist or anything. She seems very straightforward. But we'll see how everything goes with the final showdown here. No spoilers, though. I'd like to experience it all. I'm just speculating since I haven't had time to finish it yet. Just my thoughts so far. I am still kind of wondering, when I first saw her character design, actually, this was before I even really knew what the event was about, when I was just browsing Reddit and happened to see her trailer posted on her CN release. And I was finding myself wondering if she was human or not, since she has so many kind of almost otherworldly features. Something that kind of makes her feel a little bit inhuman. And now that I'm seeing the event here, I'm wondering if she is like an AI or something. It would kind of explain the weird name. Although a lot of Path to Nowhere names are a little bit strange, but hers in particular. I mean, you don't normally see hyphens and stuff in people's names. Not like that, at least. I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be a thing too, if there's going to be like any AI commentary or something like that. Because at least some of her comments about wanting to be able to experience some of these things too, and all of this stuff, especially her association with the dark web. This makes me think that she's not entirely human. I do enjoy the way Path to Nowhere handles a lot of its story elements, though, of, since we're dealing with mental shenanigans and mind worlds and that kind of thing, of just using urban legends and rumors and myths to kind of tell a lot of the story there. I do think it's kind of an interesting way to look at things. Like I said, I've overall really enjoyed the writing in it. Sometimes it goes a little bit too far into, how would I describe it? It's not quite cute girls doing cute things, but similar idea. Of just advertising the new waifu, making her cute so people want to pull for her, and that kind of thing. Sometimes it goes a little bit too deep into that territory as opposed to just writing the compelling character, but the characters themselves are all good enough that I can more than tolerate it. It's, in general, very well done, and I can't really fault them for including some of those elements, even if they're not to my taste, because I bet they're to a lot of their players' tastes. It is a waifu game, after all. That is the term that I will always use for gacha games. They're waifu games. I don't think it's a bad thing, it's just the truth. Meanwhile, I think I've worked out several little problems that I've was noticing in the bangs of some of these highlights and color changes not quite lining up the way I thought they should. Still just trying to get these last few little details right. They're being a bit elusive. So you can see there's like a little lump forming right there, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it out of there now. You don't want lumps in your hair. That's no good at all. Hair should be a lump-free zone. There should also be a zone where there is no sliding in the gradient. It's like, I think there's a little bit of shifting in the gradient there, but I think it's all minor enough that I'm not going to worry about it. Even with it being this close to the face, it's like I can see very, very slight differences, but they're so small. I think that it is good now. And I am satisfied. Right here, though. Right here, I'm not quite so sure about. It's like it's probably close enough, but it's bothering me, so I'm going to move it just a little bit. Like, if it's bothering me, I'm gonna fix it. That's just how that works. If it doesn't bother me, it can stay, but if it does bother me, I'm gonna fix it. Personally, I think it's a good rule to live by. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, I've still got a little bit of shifting right down there, which is what made me go look higher up for some more clues to begin with. So let's see if I slide these up a little bit. Will that fix that weird lump that I did not like? Let's find out. Did that help? A little bit, actually. Not enough, but a little bit. So right now the areas that I'm looking at are fairly small. So there's going to be a lot of fairly small movements to accompany that. It's because this is a matter of getting really deep into the details. Just because the art itself is fairly detailed. I don't normally work with art quite this detailed for that reason. Or at least I haven't yet. Normally I've been doing things a little bit simpler. But I do appreciate the challenge here. It just means that I'll be, I don't know, meandering around a bit while I try to figure out what's going on here. Just because I do want to get all those details into good spots too. I want everything to look very nice. I am greedy like that. And because there's so many small details to worry about here, just due to the level of detail in the art, it means I've got a lot of things to look at. And sometimes it can be a little bit easy to get distracted. I'm trying not to get too distracted. But I admit, when I look over here and I see this, it's like no, don't get distracted by that. The reason it's like that is just because normally a piece of hair is covering there. And it's just hidden right now because it was getting in the way of figuring out the tips down here. So it's like, definitely don't worry about that. Let it squirm in your peripheral, it's fine. Nothing needs to change there. Alright, the good news is I think I figured out that area that was getting lumpy on me. Yeah. So now I can start heading further down. The best part about heading further down is that area that's squirming my peripheral is going to be gone now. Because it's all the way up there. And I already know that I shouldn't touch it, so I'm not going to. But now I don't have to look at it. Now it's just not there. But that's always very nice when I can scroll down and potentially ignore things that I already know I should be ignoring. But it's hard. Sometimes it's easy for eyes to just get a little bit distracted. And I just see that and I'm just like, man, I kind of want to fix it, but it'd be a complete waste of time. Don't waste your time, self. Your time is important and you don't have enough of it. And you know you want to finish these bangs from hell. They've been giving you so much trouble for so long. And it's almost time. Look, they're almost done. And they look great. They really do. Alright, so if I can fix this shadow here. Hopefully I can. That'd be pretty cool. I'll try to fix the shadow. Do my best. Like I said, I don't have a great deal of control over this area. So this is definitely a case of just do the best I can and kind of hope things work out. No guarantee that they will, but it's worth trying. Worth trying to get as close as possible. After all, the mesh had all of those shadow shapes right in the front view, so there's no reason I shouldn't be able to replicate them in this down view, since I want them to look basically the same. This isn't a case of trying to alter things for a 3D effect or anything. I literally just want them to look the same. So that does suggest that I should be able to do what I want here. But falling asleep again. Had to kick that around a bit. Oh yeah. Okay, good. I caught it quickly enough this time that I'm not getting all the pins and needles in my feet. Just feeling the blood rush back into it, and suddenly my feet are getting warm. I always think that's a funny sensation. Okay. Getting there. I think those shadows are looking a lot better now. And now, let's try to correct that little bit of shifting that I saw. I think it's a little bit blobby there too, but... oh no, that blob is in the original as well. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's fine. A little bit of shifting I want to fix right over here, but this is actually the right shape. And here I was worried that I was seeing a little bit of a lump. But it is not a lump. That is just what the hair looks like. Oh, it's fine. It can stay like that. Do not want to make fun of this little bit of hair just for what it looks like. That's incredibly rude. Alright, now I'm back down to the tip. I think this is like the third time I've said that for the strand because I keep finding things that are a little bit wrong. Hopefully this will be the last time. I believe in myself. Let's get this done today. I'm ready to move on from the bangs. It's like I know they're probably one of the most important parts, and that's why I am putting a lot of effort into getting them right. But oh man, am I ready to move on. I'm gonna have to do my best not to get too impatient. I want to make sure everything looks good, and it'd be kind of a shame to put all that effort into this and then just give up a little bit too soon. Alright, so there I noticed that some of the changes I made altered this black line here. So that means that they were in the wrong spot. So I'm going to try again and try to adjust it a little bit more accurately this time. Oh, hello Vivi. How are you doing today? Well, good morning. Did you manage to sleep, or did you wake up in the middle of your sleep? Here. I'm just here trying to finally get these bangs done. They have not been cooperating with me, so I'm kind of glad that I'm reaching the final stretch here. I hope. We'll see what the me of tomorrow thinks, but me of today thinks I'm making pretty good progress. I think that's a personal judgment. Something that each person decides for themselves. Alright. Let's see. This is sliding down here a little bit still. I don't think I need to be quite as particular on the tips as I have been on the areas near her face. But I still want to try to get things close. As close as I can. Well, let's try make a few more little adjustments through here. See if I can't get all these shapes just right. Just right. Okay. Let's see here. So this is like a combination of a few things. Where I was noticing that when this came down, that this area gets a little bit thinner. I was trying to thicken it back up. And now it still looks like there's a little bit of shifting through there. So probably just need to move this vertex like up there, and that should get me the right thickness. It's like I wasn't overly concerned about the shifting here because it was minor, but that shifting can give me a hint as to where things are going wrong. Kind of like there's a little bit right here too. And it's very slight, very hard to notice. Normally I wouldn't worry about it, but because I feel like there's other things that are not quite in the right place around it, I'm just using it to try to tell me, where should these other things go? Yeah, I think that's already looking a lot better. I think I might be almost there. I hope the up angle goes a little bit better than the down angle's been going. It's kind of wild because it was going so well at the beginning. But for some reason, these little pieces, they just did not want to work with me. It's deeply unfortunate. Very rude of them. But it looks like I got it. So now I just need to deal with these last couple of tips here. Get the shadow in the right place in all of these other areas where they belong. So that'll be my focus now. Just trying to get those tips again. And hopefully this time it sticks, and the me of tomorrow will be happy with the way everything looks. And that's kind of how it's shaken out, where the me of yesterday is satisfied with how something looks, and I look at it again, and I'm just not. And morning, Sojiram. How are you doing today? Also, I unfortunately have an itchy nose, which I'm sure makes my model spaz out every time I try to itch it, because the tracking program does not like it when I touch my face. Alright, gotta try to thicken up this bottom part here. Excellent. Well, do either of you have any fun plans for today? Today I'm probably just going to stay at home, hang out with my kids. The usual stuff. My life tends to be a little bit samey since my little ones are so young, and they're not doing a lot of things outside the house yet. At most, I take them to the park or something. Sounds like a reasonable day. Have you had a chance to play through the Path to Nowhere event? I haven't quite finished it yet. I probably... With the way the story structure in that game's events tend to be, I'm probably like 2/3 of the way through. Rambled about my thoughts a little, but I don't mind doing it again. Ah, alright. Yeah, it's like it's open for a couple of weeks, so no need to rush. I've had a pretty good time going through it so far. Writing is still on point. Alright. Well, I hope you're able to have fun with that as well. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm never sure, because some people can manage to have a lot of fun at their jobs, but other times when work is busy, it's not a good time. Depends on the job. Alright, I think I've worked my way down the tip of this hair. Almost there. Just kind of trying to get the right angle on the very, very bottom part of it. Yeah, right now I think it's getting a little bit thin right through there. So I probably just overdid my placement on a few things. Yes, understandable. That's okay. I'm glad it's not pure suffering. I think a little bit of stress in life is healthy, but I hope it doesn't get too hard on you. Good luck, friend. At least it's not boring. Oh, Steve's coming. Hold on. Alright, there we go. I sneezed hard enough that I hit a wrapper that was on my desk and it startled me. Because suddenly there was movement and I wasn't expecting it. Still just a little bit more here. I'm taking a close look at any little bits of shifting that I see. Because I think that'll be a good hint as to where the last few problems that I have on the strand are. I'm gonna do something like this. Because I'm kind of feeling like the area here needs to be a little bit straighter. The shadow area. Yep, that's what it was. Sweet. Always nice when it's simple. I think I'm starting to really learn and understand the mistakes that I make. Or I keep wanting to curl bits of hair that are not actually curled that strongly in the original. What can I say? I just keep wanting to make them really floofy. Just floof everywhere. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. Let's take a look at the other one. How is the other one doing? Other one actually doesn't seem quite as bad. It looks like it managed to be okay through all the other work that I was doing. Still has a bit of shifting in the middle that I don't like. But it seems like the work I did on it before was enough so far. So hopefully I don't have that much more to do with it. Let's see. There's just like one minor thing and I'm trying to identify what it is. I think it's something with this tiny highlight. A tiny, tiny subtle highlight. I think I just need to expand it a little bit. There's like small bit of thickness there in the original. Okay, that was a bit too much. But the idea is correct. The idea is absolutely correct. Just need to slide it into the right place. And get that little bump looking how it is in the original. Okay, there we go. That is definitely better. Now I think I just need to move the entire thing. A little bit of a smaller brush than this. Upward just a little bit. It needs to be a little bit straighter. Like I said, I keep wanting to curl these strands. And now that I'm very aware that I keep trying to do that, I'm noticing the issues a little bit faster, I think. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Now I make the bottom a little bit straighter. Try to flatten it out a bit. And hopefully that is all I need. Nope, a little bit more. A little bit more straightness on the bottom. Like right here. Just right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's probably good. Now I can actually turn this hair back on and get rid of the funny bald spot. Okay. I am free. Now I can go visit some other strands. Let's see. I think I'm sending this one a little bit too far down, but otherwise I think it looks fine. So I just kind of want to take this and push it up very, very slightly. That should be enough. It was pretty close to being in the right place. I just thought it was dropping down a little bit too hard. I think it actually still is. Okay. Do that again. Send it up just a little bit more. I might need to de-wrinkle it a little bit, but... yeah, now it's over to the right a little bit too much. And indeed, needs just a little bit of de-wrinkling. Ironed it all out. Just get those last couple of details a little bit better. Fortunately, I find this area fairly straightforward to work with. This area sucks, but below it, totally fine. The connecting hair has always been a little bit of a nightmare, but I think it's still looking okay. Also, I don't really want to touch it again, so I'm glad it's looking okay. Okay. I think the strand is the correct length now, but I feel like some of the vertices are shifting down. Come on. I do not want to move. There we go. There we go. Look. That's how you know it's wrong. I wouldn't use those words to describe the hair if the hair was looking good. Those are the words you describe hair gone wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. There's a reason they sound very unpleasant. Okay, I think there's a little bit of thickness here, so I'm going to try to squeeze the vertices together a little bit. Make it a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner, a little bit more strand-like. Let it imitate the strand. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. So now I can do the other one that I was afraid of this long one that goes all the way down to the body, or it would if I wasn't hiding the body right now and making her a floating head. So that'll be this one. Some things are kind of shifting around here. Most of it kind of upward, or downward, excuse me, so I want to move everything upward. And then I'm going to straighten out the triangles for a little bit, because that tends to help when everything just feels off. Alright. A little bit too much. Brought it up a little bit too much. So I'll bring it back down a little. Like to right... I don't know, maybe around here. Try there. See what happens. Close. I think it's about right vertically, but it needs to like come this way a little bit more. This one too. I need to come over here. Which probably means that a lot of these need to come over here. Until it's time to change course. And kind of stick out and floof. Floof out everywhere. Okay, now it's the exact opposite, where I feel like it's in the right place horizontally but not vertically. So I'll pull it down a bit again. Pull some of these areas out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I think I just pulled out this side a little bit too hard. Dial it back a little bit. It's easy to overdo things, especially when you're me. I swear I have, like, no sense of moderation. I just go in and go hard. Okay. I think that's looking a lot better now, and now there's a couple of things around this little highlight that I kind of want to straighten out. I feel like it's a little bit crooked. So I'll rein it in a little bit. Hopefully get everything into a slightly better spot there. Try not to move things too much. Better, not quite right yet, but definitely better. I will definitely take better. Okay, and then up here, there were a few things that were a little bit off too. Just need to straighten out this spot right here, I think. And then once that's all straightened out, I think everything else should work itself out. Sometimes that's just how it works. Get one thing right, everything kind of comes along with it. Okay, I see why I made the highlight a little bit thicker up there. I think I took away a little bit too much of that. Should believe in my past self a little bit more. She knew what she was doing. Alright, there we we go. Now I'll just work some of that all the way down here. And hopefully that'll cover up all the areas that I think need to be covered. And we'll make it look like the top of the head is being shown a little bit more. Yeah, I think so. Okay, now I'm just doing that thing where I make everything a little bit rounder than it should be, and now I just need to make it straight again. It keeps happening, and probably will keep happening. It's a habit I'm barely aware of when I do it. It just happens. It's just kind of how my brain sees things, and what I think looks nice. So it'll probably keep happening. But at least now that I'm aware of it, I can try to rein it in somewhat. Not quite enough. Still a little bit right there. That's a little bit too curved. Probably need to bring this guy in a little bit too. Maybe not that much. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, and I think once I smooth this out, there's still just a little wrinkle right there. Once I smooth that out, it should look great. Okay, and at the bottom there actually is a spot that curves outward a little bit. So I want to get that back in. Get all those straights and curls right. Try to honor as much as of the original as I can. Get them looking as similar as possible. Because after all, I want to make it look like her head is turning, not that I'm just drawing another angle here. It's like when the entire thing is in motion, it should look like a turn. Yeah, this little spot right there still needs to come up. Might take a look at the mesh real quick. How exactly? Okay. Just something getting a little bit distorted in there, and indeed, fixing that little distortion fixed everything. And now I think it's great. Okay. Continuing down. So now the area between the highlight and the gradient. That's the next area to tackle. Still a little bit of shifting the highlight here. So I'm going to make some fine adjustments to try to get rid of that little bit of shifting. And there we go. That's good enough. There's like a tiny bit still, but it's so minor that I don't think it's even worth worrying about. Let's zoom out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And now for some intense staring while I figure out which part of this is actually in the wrong place. I think it's... Actually, it's probably going to be easier to see here, because I know roughly where it is. Okay. It's right here. Right there. Now I can start moving everything out and getting rid of all these wrinkles in the hair. Start getting everything going in these nice straight lines. Because the area over here is very straight. Lots and lots of straights. I'm gonna have to really rein in my desire to make things curly. It's like, no, the hair here is very, very straight. Yes. A lot of the things I'm looking at are pretty small. I have looked into getting some eye tracking software so that this way there'll be like a blue dot or something on whatever it is I'm looking at. But unfortunately, the options out there are all kind of expensive. There's an open source project in the works, but unfortunately it is not yet complete. And I don't have money to spend. It's very sad. But hopefully someday I'll have some eye tracking stuff, so this way it'll be obvious what I'm staring at. For now, I just do my best just to describe it and kind of highlight the areas where some of the bigger issues that I see are. But it's like when it's like literally that these highlights here are just not straight enough. Like, yeah, that's a bit hard to describe and a bit hard to see when you're not looking for it. Especially when you're not accustomed to rigging yourself and don't know what to look for. But nonetheless, I hope you find, looking at her floating head nodding, at least amusing. Hello there, Preeti. How are you doing today? I'm just over here trying to straighten out the strand of hair. But fortunately, it's working for me. And I finished off the bangs that were not working with me, so I'm hoping that this one will be kinder to me. Just trying to feel out where all of this should go. Get the feeling that a lot of it is going to come down to finding which parts of this gradient go where. Starting from the top is generally a good way to go. And indeed, there is still some shifting up there. So if I fix that, maybe it'll make the lower parts a bit easier. Probably getting a little bit ahead of myself. That's normal, I do it all the time. I just want to go. Just really get into everything. I have never been especially patient. I'm sure it looks like it because I can just tug at these vertices for all eternity, but nah, I've never been very patient. Never been good at waiting. It's just that when I tug at all these vertices, I still feel like I'm making something happen. And that's what's important to me, just I feel like something's happening. Alright. Nope, still not right. Let's take a look at the mesh. Where are things going haywire here? Right here. They're going haywire right there. Okay. Yeah, that's right. When I made the mesh, I tried to space out the triangles pretty evenly. So if the triangles are not spaced out pretty evenly, then something is probably wrong. Always have to remember that. So I think that can be a good hint in its own right. Just remembering what I did in the past and why I did it like that. Give me good ideas for what I should investigate. Alright, I am starting to get a little bit hungry, but I'm kind of determined to make some more progress on this strand. We'll see if I make it all the way down. But I want to keep going for a little while longer. See if I can figure some of this out. It looks like the top part is coming together. But down here is... oh man, it's squirming everywhere, but... top part... That's starting to work out. So I'm going to take a look at the mesh and see if it'll help me work out these last couple of problems up here. This is a case where I don't think I want this strandy part of the mesh to be moving around too much. Like the top part at the top of her head, I had some stuff that I wanted to do with 3D effect. Because more of the top of her head should be showing, but this strand I don't think is going to be moving that much. So it should look relatively the same. A few differences here and there probably won't hurt anything, but relatively the same. Okay. Yeah, I think that is doing better. So let's take a look at it without the mesh now. And actually take a look at the art here. I don't know, I still feel like it's all bunching up. Like right here. Probably means I need to space things out a little bit better here. Or it's entirely possible I'm just starting to lose my ability to see properly. And my eyes need a break. That would be unfortunate. I'm gonna try to push them a little bit harder because I want to try to get a little bit further down. If I have the top worked out, then I'm pretty sure the bottom will just come together very smoothly. I'm kind of glad that this is the last big strand to work on. I guess there are actually a couple of bigger ones that I have hidden right now. But, well, it's the last big strand of this group. Yes, last big strand of this group. Okay, I see. I'm changing the angle on this really hard. That's probably my problem here. Angle is changing a lot. Okay. In that case, I actually think I might need to, like, take this entire strand, get a really big brush here, just move it a little bit to the right. There we go. Very small adjustment there, but I think that'll help me start to get the right angle on this area. So I'm going to look at where this shadow area meets this light area on the top of the gradient there. Okay, yes. Because I think that will help me place where this particular vertex should go. And once I have that one in place, that should make everything else a little bit easier. And indeed, it needed to go a bit further to the right. Or left, yes. The left. That's why I pushed everything else to the right. Because I felt like the angle needed to change a bit. This one should hopefully give me a little bit more room. That's the hope, anyway. Because I think some of the ones on the top... How do they need to move? It's like... this strand in the front view here kind of comes in and then out. So I wanted to give it some room to come in and then out. But it looks like I might have moved it a little bit too far. It's okay, let's straighten out some of this. They'll worry about the tip later. And then I will just kinda try to straighten this out here. Right now it's looking a little bit warped, so I'm pretty sure that most of that is in the wrong place, but I want to see if I'm getting the angle on this top area a little bit better here. Yes. Yes, I am. It is much better. Okay, so I think I've at least worked out the angle there. Let me make sure that everything else looking good there. Right here. Might be going in a little bit too hard. Push this back out a little bit. Trying to get the higher ones there, so this way I have a better idea of where to place the ones below it as I continue further down the strand. Alright, well I think I've gotten the top part of that worked out at least. Everything from probably about here up I think is already looking a lot better. And the best part is I got the bangs from hell done. So yes, her side bangs. Both of them. They're now looking good. At least the me of today is satisfied. We'll see how the me of tomorrow feels. But I think this is where I will stop for today. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, or game design, or any other creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram or any social media of your choice, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.